As we start reading through this week's Torah portion, we join our father Avraham Avinu, as he receives the commandment of Lech Lecha. Lech Lecha me'artzecha. Go for yourself from your land, your birthplace, your father's home, to the land that I will show you. Naturally, we tend to assume that upon receiving this directive, Abraham immediately set off on his way towards Eretz Yisrael. The Medrash, however, teaches us that things were not nearly as simple as that. Avraham was very hesitant, greatly troubled by one of the more vexing problems facing potential Olim even today. How could he leave his family, and more specifically, his elderly father, Terach? How could he leave them behind? Avraham was torn between the necessity of following the divine command, Lech Lecha, on the one hand, and the ethical impulse to honor his father, Kibud Avayim, on the other. Many families contemplating Aliyah today are faced with a similar conundrum to that which Abraham struggled with. How can they abandon their parents, their elderly parents or grandparents in their time of need? Were they to suddenly hear that their loved one fell ill, how could they be able to tend to their needs while living in Eretz Yisrael? For other potential Olim who may be leaving behind healthy middle-aged parents, the hardest thought may be having to deprive their children of the benefits of having regular direct contact with grandparents who can teach, support, and shower their grandchildren with love and affection. Avraham had his dilemma solved for him. The Medrash quotes Hashem telling Avraham the following: Lech Lecha, for I absolve you from keeping the mitzvah of Kibud Avayim. This is unbelievable. The importance of the mitzvah of living in the Holy Land outweighs one of the 10 commandments, the mitzvah of Kibud Avayim, honoring your mother and father. According to Jewish law, a parent must not prevent their child from making Aliyah. Just as a parent's directive not to observe the Sabbath is not to be honored, so too in regard to Aliyah. If you have decided that the time has come to make Aliyah, do the best to convince your parents and siblings and bring them along. But if they decide not to take the offer, you should come anyway. Sometimes when we do things that seem to go against what our parents want, in fact, we are fulfilling their deepest wishes. Many people who make Aliyah are concerned about disappointing their parents. But in fact, the parents often would respond that making Aliyah had been their parents' dream for many years before getting married. Sort of like Terach, who was headed for the same place as Avraham, the land of Canaan. But only Avraham reached their common destination. If you are considering Aliyah, do your best to bring your family members with you. But if you are still on the fence, come anyways. My dear brothers and sisters, it's time for you to come home. Come home now.